Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Kristin's Kitchen. It has been way too long and I don't even know how 3 months has passed without me doing one of these, but I thought a perfect way to come back into the new year would be to actually show you guys a recipe that I have made before many times and I love it so much, and I've never shared it with you guys on my Instagram or anything like that, and that is the world's best chocolate chip cookie recipe. There's a lot of different opinions and people like their chocolate chip cookies in very specific ways, but I'm just saying, for me and all my friends and family, these are by far the best chocolate chip cookies ever. I probably tried 15 to 20 different recipes, and what I did was kind of compile my top 3 favorite recipes into one recipe, but I'll definitely have the recipes that gave me inspiration for this recipe down below in my description box, as well as the recipe I'm going to be using today. Also, before we begin, I just want to say, if you're not subscribed to my channel yet, make sure to subscribe and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy Kristin's Kitchen videos. I always have my recipe written out, or if I'm getting a recipe offline, I'll have my laptop open, but since I make this recipe pretty frequently, I have it written down right here. Marcus ran to the store and got me everything I needed. Very nice husband. So let's just get started. I already did step number 1, which is to preheat your oven to 365. My oven has been very weird lately, so I preheated it a little bit higher than that because it hasn't been getting hot enough, but I would say for normal ovens, 365 is the good degrees. Now it is time to start baking, and here is the star of the show. This is Trader Joe's Pound Plus 72% cacao dark chocolate. Camper wants to come inside. 1 second. This is just like the largest chocolate bar ever. You can get any type of good quality dark chocolate, but this is what I always use for these cookies. So the first thing I like to do with this recipe is chop the chocolate and just get that part out of the way. So something about this recipe that is very important is that you keep all of the flakes that come off when you are chopping the chocolate, because it kind of just gives the whole cookie a more even chocolatey feel, because these tiny little flakes melt in all throughout the cookie, and just trust me, it is the best thing ever. You're trying to get your chocolate chunks kind of at this consistency. They shouldn't be too huge, but you know, kind of something like that. I actually always make these cookies with Lexi, and her job is always to chop the chocolate. So now I'm really appreciating the time she takes and the energy it takes to chop this. If you guys watched my last video, you know I had a little bit of a weird doctor's appointment visit, and I just wanted to give you guys an update. My arm is looking so much better. Warning, if you don't want to see a bruise, skip to the next 10 seconds. Okay, 3, 2, 1. But here is how my bruise is looking. It looks so much better. You guys were so concerned in the comments of that video, so I just wanted to give you a little update. Okay, now I'm gonna get a bowl really quick so I can weigh out how much this is. Okay, so this is about 100 grams, so I need to do about 240 more grams, so I'll be right back. Now that I have made a major chocolate mess, we have all of our chocolate chopped. You can see there's flakes in there, there's bigger pieces. I mean, who's gonna complain about a too big piece of chocolate? Nobody that I wanna know. And then over here, I also left some bigger chunks out, and we're gonna save these for later. These are very important, so don't forget to leave out some big chunks. I'll show you why in a moment. We've moved over to the stove because now we are gonna melt our butter, and we're gonna be melting 1 cup of unsalted butter. I cut this up so it could melt a little bit more evenly and quickly. So get that all in a saucepan, and then turn up the heat to, I would say, around like a medium heat. Hello, hello. We still want the butter to be cloudy and like just melted. We don't want it to become like browned or anything like that. So I'll show you what it should look like. Mine is actually almost there. This has melted really quickly, like quickest buttermelt ever. Okay, so here's what it should look like. It's completely melted, but it just completely melted and you can still see its cloudy butteriness. Okay, so into a big bowl, you're gonna wanna put 3 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, just like this. You're also gonna need 1 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, and then 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And the last thing to our dry ingredients, 1 teaspoon of salt. Okay, now we are gonna combine our dry ingredients. I actually got this whisk, this little wooden whisk at a thrift store in Copenhagen, and it just makes me so happy every time I use it. I feel like wooden whisks are so rare. Like I only ever see like metal or, you know, silicone whisks these days. So now we're gonna move over to the stand mixer where we're going to mix together our wet ingredients. Here is where our melted butter comes in because we're gonna add this to the bowl of our stand mixer. I'm dripping butter everywhere, but that's okay. Now we're gonna measure out the sugar. We're using brown sugar and just plain granulated sugar. We're gonna do 1 1/2 cups of packed brown sugar. And now our granulated sugar, we're gonna do 1/2 of a cup. And then we are gonna mix all of this together. Okay, so here's what it's gonna look like at first. Now this has been mixing for a few minutes and here is how your mixture should look. Now we're gonna add 2 eggs, 1 at a time while we continue mixing. And then I'm gonna show you guys a secret ingredient that I think makes the hugest difference in these cookies. So stay tuned in like 2 seconds. Hopefully you stay tuned, I mean. Okay, our eggs are in, and now I just have to tell you guys about this little gem. This is vanilla bean paste, and I got this one at Trader Joe's, but I'm pretty sure you can get this at most grocery stores. But this gives anything that you bake the nicest, most beautiful vanilla flavor. It is so good. I think it makes a huge difference in these cookies. So we're gonna be adding 2 teaspoons of this. After the first time of using this, I was like, never again am I going to bake with normal vanilla extract because this is just so much better. It's magical. So your mix should be looking a little bit like this, and now is the time that we start adding in our handy dandy dry ingredients. I'm gonna do about 1.5 cups of this at a time and just slowly mix it in so that the mixer has time to incorporate it evenly. Next round going in. So here's what your dough should look like. It's a little bit on the drier side, which made me nervous the first time making these, but trust me, it all comes together. Now is the fun part because we're gonna add all of our chocolate to our dry mix. Not our dry mix, just our mix in general. This is optional, but I think this makes the cookies the world's best chocolate chip cookies, and I like to add like 1.5 cups of chopped pecans. You don't have to do this, but I would highly suggest you do it because it is so good. And I've also done this with walnuts and it tasted really good, but I think pecans, they're just so rich and delicious, and like they give it so much extra texture. Like, are you joking me? This is like heaven in a bowl, seriously. So we're gonna go back to the stand mixer. We're just gonna mix this until just incorporated because we don't wanna overwork the dough, and just incorporating all that goodness. Oh, it's so perfect. And now is the difficult part because we have to let this chill. But don't worry, we don't have to let it chill overnight or even for 2 hours, just for about 15 to 30 minutes in the fridge. And this will also just help your cookies stay together better when you're forming them. And this recipe also makes so much cookie dough, as you can see. So a lot of the times I will just freeze the dough and then use it for a later time and just make the amount that I need. Okay, I'm gonna pop this into the fridge, and then while this is resting, I'm gonna clean my kitchen because actually you're not even seeing the worst of it right here, but I do need to clean up. So I'll see you guys in 15 minutes. Hey, do you wish that you could eat a cookie? Are you very sad that you can't eat a cookie? Oh my gosh, and you want a cookie too? But they have chocolate in them. You cannot. Okay, the cookies have been resting for about 30 minutes in the fridge, and now we're ready to form them. And I have those chunks of chocolate that I set aside before because I'm about to show you guys what to do with them. So I've actually been really liking using an ice cream scoop to form my cookies because it really does make them all uniform, and it also makes them bake a lot more evenly. So I'm gonna use this. I just got this off of Amazon. And I basically just scoop out the cookie dough, even it off on the side of the bowl, and then you just scoop it right onto your baking sheet. And I kind of like to flatten it out as well. Oh, that one didn't come off as good as I hoped. And then I'll just kind of form it into a perfect little cookie shape. I think today I'm just gonna make 6 cookies because it is just me and Marcus here today. No friends coming over to enjoy dessert. Honestly, all of my friends are on like weird diets right now, and I am so unhappy about it because when they can't eat dessert, it's like way less fun for me to eat dessert because it's so much fun to bake for your friends and then eat it with them. And then when they're not eating dessert, it's just like so boring. So here is what your cookies are gonna look like. Now, this part is very important, and this is just such a good tip. You know how cookies in restaurants are like those just really good chocolate chip cookies from New York? How they just look like there's just chocolate pouring out of them when they're out of the oven? Well, that's because they take chunks of chocolate and put them on top of the cookies before they bake them, and it just gives the cookies such a beautiful look to them. So I just take like 1 or 2 chocolate chunks and I put it right on top of the cookies. So here is what your cookies are gonna look like before they go into the oven. Okay, good luck, little guys. See you in 10 minutes. It's been about 12, 13 minutes, and I think the cookies are ready. They look perfect. Look how good these look. Oh my gosh. And can you see how the chocolate chunks that we added on top make such a huge difference? Because now they just look so chocolatey and delicious. Okay, I'm gonna let these cool for about 10 minutes, and then I'll get Marcus in here so he can try them with me. I want to show you also how thick these cookies are because they're about like, you know, they're pretty tall. And look how good the chocolate looks on top of them, and you can see the pecans. Oh, so good. Okay, I put the cookies on this very cute plate so I could present them to you, even though Marcus has had these so many times.
Have I?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, but I know this taste. This is the first time on camera I've tasted something and not done my thing. Should we restart?
Yeah, restart. That does not feel right.
Oh.
Oh.
I got you unsalted butter, but it tastes salty.
Because you add salt to it. It's perfect thickness. Isn't it perfect mix of chewy and gooey? This is what the bottom looks like.
You can't have any, bro.
Yeah, you can't have any, but you can hear it. ASMR. Oh, I gotta get this chocolate.
Can I have another?
Yes. So if you guys are looking for the perfect chocolate chip cookie recipe, would you say this is the perfect chocolate chip cookie? Wow. So I'll leave the recipe in the description box. If you make them, please make sure to tag me so I can see what you think about them, or leave it down in the comments what you think of the recipe. Don't forget to thumbs up this video if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe for more Kristin's Kitchen episodes, and we will see you very soon. I feel like I have chocolate all over my teeth. Bye. I'm gonna do the bye with the cookie. Bye. Oh, that's the shot. That is the shot. Wow. Okay, bye.